A second conservative Supreme Court justice. That is music to conservatives' ears, Republicans' ears. It was a huge selling point in the midterms. It was a huge selling point in the presidential race. In fact, many might argue it is exactly why real conservatives who share very, very, very little with President Trump excuse so much that he says and does. Why? Judges. But even before we know what the FBI finds, the Kavanaugh confirmation process is not sitting well with voters. Let's dive into where this leaves the GOP with Ohio Governor John Kasich. Gov, it's good to have you.
Yes, sir.
You understand the machinations. You weren't in the Senate, but you get this. You get what this is about and where it's going to wind up. What is your take on whether at the end of this week we will have a moment of clarity where the senators can say, now I know. Well, now look, I can do this.
Chris, I guess it was a day before the hearing, I asked for a full and complete investigation. I think it was important. Very concerned about, the testimony of a woman. They need to be listened to. It was without any question about it. And I thought it made sense to slow down. And it turned out that's where the Senate went when they were in that hearing. When I look at things now as to what you believe or what I believe or what somebody else out here believes, we're not getting very far on this. And I don't know what's going to happen when the FBI comes in. But here's my observation and the lessons we're learning. Chris, we are in a zero-sum game. It's like the flip of a coin. I flip the coin, heads I win, tails you lose. Or you flip the coin and it's, you got heads, you win, and I lose. You can't run politics, you can't run life in a zero-game environment. And so it's like when you're in that environment, all the tactics are permitted. You can say anything about anybody, because it's all about me winning and you losing. We can't live our lives that way. And then we get to our tongues. Our tongues, which one person wrote, maybe it was even in the scripture, that the tongue is more powerful than the rudder on a ship. And we use this tongue as a weapon. And we use social media now as a weapon, almost a virtual tongue, to say things that we end up turning around and we apologize to our spouses, we apologize to our friends, we apologize to our business partners, and guess what? Sometimes we can't heal it. And we have got to all wake up that I don't have to win and you have to lose. We can all have some victories.
But how does that work in the confirmation process?
Well,
Kavanaugh is going to be a win for some and a lose for others.
Well, we have to think about what we're learning from this. Now, we had Gorsuch was confirmed, but we have to learn, why did that work? Why is this not working? And why can't we have a process? Because I was in the Congress for 18 years when we did so many things, including the fights to balance a budget after a government shutdown. We got to the point where we could figure out, I might have a lot, but you're going to get something. I ran a budget committee. It was a very partisan committee, but I would tell the people on my committee, you got to give them something. We can't win everything. It doesn't work. I learned about pressure cookers when I was a kid. I said to my mother, when you make those potatoes, why does that thing whistle? She says, Johnny, if it doesn't whistle and blow off steam, it'll all explode. We're about to see the explosion, and we are seeing in some sense the explosion of American politics. I hope people will listen to me and think about it doesn't have to be win and loss. There are ways in which we can get these things fixed. Now, I think the investigation might have been a little bit of that, right? Where somebody was saying, okay, let's go.
Politically, it was. Flake did a brave thing. He can say now on 60 Minutes that, well, I'm going to be out of office. If I was staying in, I could have never done this. I hope he's wrong about that. He and Chris Coons and the others worked together. There was no reason for Grassley to be accommodative unless Flake was saying, I won't give you my vote in committee, and we're going to flip it, and Kavanaugh doesn't make it out. It was something that was done despite advantage, and that was good. I just don't know where we wind up.
Of the tactics, though. I mean, right now, because I win and you lose, I can do anything, I can say anything. And then if I don't even say it to your face, I can say it on social media. Who's winning on this?
Nobody.
We're not teaching our kids this. We teach our kids, you win at all costs. The Ryder Cup was on over the weekend. You know what everybody liked? Each team giving each other a hug.
Right.
You play as hard as you can, and you show respect for somebody, because when you back them into a corner, whether it's a human being or whether it's an animal, you learn you back somebody into a corner and they'll strike at you. And this is not the way we want to live in America. And this is like the top of the hill from everything we've been seeing in that town for a very, very long time. And we see it in a lot of parts of life, too.
Well, what I don't what I don't like about it, I'll tell you what, and I'm running out of time here, but this is what I don't like. No matter how this comes out, everybody's hurt.
Everybody loses in this.
The allegation is going to go unsatisfied. Some people will believe the Professor Ford, or maybe it's Ramirez, whichever allegation they decide. And what if they're not true? And what if there wasn't a proper vetting done that would have cleared Judge Kavanaugh, or at least in a way that would have let people know it can't be corroborated?
Well, it's got to be, yes.
And he's not going to get that clarity
Well,
either. There will be a stain on him, and that's the concern.
But you know what? The question is, will somebody on that committee from both the Democratic side and the Republican side, will they have the guts to say, I think we can just move forward here? You know, it's not everything I wanted, but can we move forward? And we'll see if we have any heroes in that regard.
Well, we'll
because
see.
it could be a start of healing, but then again, where we are with this, I got to win and you got to lose, it makes it very difficult.
Well, that's the hope that we saw with Flake and Coons. We'll see what we get here at the end of the week. And let's not forget, there's a big cheerleader banging the pom-poms together for exactly this type of divisiveness, and it's the President of the United States. Governor, thank you for being with us.
Chris.
We got to
Thank
talk
you.
NAFTA. It matters.
Yep.
You're welcome back to do exactly that once we get through
Oh, I know all of this.
this,
Thank you.
this vexing situation.